global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. We have a trending news for you, and this is a rather sad one, and I don't know how we're going to take this, but it speaks negatively. Although one Adamu Gabatu, though verified, had spoken up concerning the issue. It is trending already in social media. I just hope that Nigerians will be able to survive this, as it's now the hush puppy effect is beginning to take effect on Nigerians and diaspora. Well, there's been updates on the issue of Dubai UAE, where he has actually come up. He said, look, call it whatever you want, hush puppy effect or whatever, but I tell you this, fellow Nigerians that live in diaspora, as long as you keep denigrating and rejecting your country, you will be denigrated and also be rejected anywhere, not just in Dubai, because Dubai had just begun the process. The only truly viable option is to build your home country, Nigeria. I know a lot of diaspora people will not like this news. See, and stop running. Come home and fix this mess. Then we now had to go ahead to look at what was the update on the issue of Dubai. I said, number one, visa renewal for Nigeria in UAE has been stopped. He said, number two, permanent resident returning approvals for Nigerians have also been stopped. Number three, he said tourist visas for Nigerians are on hold. Number four, all previously issued visa is now invalid. So number next, which is number five, so all visas for those presently in Dubai expires next week, which means you have 1 week of notification to start getting your home ready, gather your wheat, get your things, get your house in order to come home. Whatever it is you have already, you have now started seeing that the hush puppy effect it's a bad one, honestly. And if this successfully takes place in Dubai, I'm afraid some other countries may begin to take a cue from it. Whether we like it or yes, no one wants a rogue in their country. No one wants somebody who would, subject their other citizen to some sort of insecurity, or where their finances are not secured. Whether you call it online fraud or not, the truth of the matter is anything that will bring their citizen discomfort. And if there's a foreigner that is doing that and they're unique in a particular race, of course, by all means, they will want to see how they can protect their citizens as much as they can. And the hush puppy effect is beginning to take effect. I pray that this does not go beyond that. But then, if you look at this very critically, we are blessed with very intelligent minds. Apart from hush puppy, we have some very good hands out there. But rather, the effect of hush puppy is getting harsher. If Nigeria, and the information coming out from Nigeria every day is saddening. Oh yes, it's very saddening. Our leaders have been you keep hearing names called corruption in billions. Now, if your leaders are like this, then how do you imagine? Just imagine how the citizens will look like. If their leaders have been known to be, they finger them and point at them for corruption in billions. And we all know that some of these monies we're talking about, they have stashed some of these monies in foreign banks, which they also are aware of. And now you now have younger generation coming in. We don't want anybody that's fraudulent. It's unfortunate, but it's the truth. I think it's about time. That place you're staying in, somebody built it. The citizens built it, whether with their blood or with their sweat or with their intelligence, but they built it. And for us to make Nigeria great, we have what it takes. Some persons already are saying, no, Nigeria is already fallen. We don't want to be in Nigeria. We want our own country. Whether we want our own country or yes, we all need to come home and get this country ready, right? So for us to get the country ready, all hands should be on deck. But while we are at it, I wonder how, for those already in Dubai, I don't know how true this information is, because this is actually from a verified social media handler who is speaking from authority. I don't know where he got his authority from, but those in Dubai, I don't know how you're faring. But if eventually this information happens to be very true, for those of us in Dubai, please, you should start thinking of coming home and make our home great, whether you want to succeed or not. For the now, This is the only home that you call country. When they say place of origin, for those of us who are bettered in Nigeria and travel down to Dubai, at least your home of country, your country of birth is still Nigeria. Okay, and if anything happens to this country, Nigeria, and they deport you, where will you go to? So some of us, we should sometimes, when we are thinking, we should also look at the other part of the picture so that we'll know that no place like home. Somebody said home is where you're comfortable with. Another person will say home is a place where you were born. It depends on what side of the coin or which parts you believe, what philosophy of life that you believe. Well, let's look at what Nigerians are saying, because Nigerians have started talking about this issue of Dubai effect, the hush puppy effect on Nigerians living in Dubai. Some Nigerians are beginning to ask, is this UAE effect, as in what UAE are doing, are they harsh? Is it not too harsh for them to just give Nigerians just 1 week to either return or do the needful? Well, Nigerians have taken to their social media to react over this. This one is saying UAE is not harsh anything. UAE is not harsh at all. If na you unko, how would you fold your arms and watch criminals bring down what you have labored for? By the time UAE allows illicit drug peddlers, kidnappers, prostitutes, armed robbers, and baby factory operators are established properly in the Emirates, the lunatics will start claiming 98% ownership of UAE on one hand and calling it a zoo on the other. I support UAE 100%. Okay, this one here is saying this is the result of Oduduwa people. Imagine what the foolish art have done to innocent Nigerians. What has concern? What did Oduduwa people do here? These people are the way they reason. What did the Oduduwa people do in UAE that they said is their fault? But let's continue. This one here is saying, if Nigerians stop going to UAE, whose economy will suffer worst? Nigerians need to stop elevating these foreign nations and over respecting them. UAE is an Arab nation, and if Nigerians are drug peddlers, then Arab nations are terrorist exporters. Simple. This is serious. Nigerians are getting really angry. This one here is saying, bros, calm down. This is a national matter. Okay. This one here is saying, thanks to Olanikan, aka Woodbury and Hush Puppy. Okay, now I understand where it's coming from. He's going on a tribalistic lane. He's saying that Olanikan, aka Woodbury happened to be one of those people they caught in the issue of online fraud, and he's now mentioning his real name, which is traceable to the Yoruba origin. That's why he's now calling them Oduduwa. Instead of Nigeria now, he's now using the word Oduduwa. That they are the cause of this whole thing. Hush Puppy, unfortunately, no one has an idea where he's really from, but definitely he's not an Igbo man. But let's continue. Let's still see what Nigerians are saying. This one here say their country, their rules. We have collectively looked away while our leaders destroy our own country. And some Nigerians have increasingly destroyed our image with dirty crimes. Whoever it affects should look elsewhere. That's strong. That's still that same looking as if we are not still taking it. We're not trying to take a hold of our country. This is rather sad. Let's continue. This one here is saying, this is breathtaking. Just like that, I don't blame them anyway. Meanwhile, utmost foolishness will it be for Nigeria to still take our money to that country in any form. Develop your own country. Simple. This still the same thing. Let's come home and develop our country. End of story. It's not it's not rocket science. They develop their own, develop ours. Simple. If we need to hold our leaders to ransom, then so be it. They did theirs. If we love what we see over there, let's bring it home. Let's continue. So you say yes, it's a national matter to Nigerians, but also a national matter to UAE. Fairness demands it is viewed from both perspectives. Nigeria is not the only black nation in Africa, but why is UAE specific about Nigeria? We should as well look inward. True talk, my brother. True talk. Very true talk. This one here is saying majority of Nigerians I know that visit UAE go there to buy gold in Dubai. Stop going there and invest your money in Nigeria. Not now they sell gold. Not now they mine gold. Buy gold from northern Nigeria. Nigerians do not need those nations. Nigeria has the population and the world to go it alone. We have already sold part of our sovereignty already. Let's continue. This one here is saying Igbalode Raymond, aka Hush Puppy. will suffer in this life for 600 years. Oh boy, this one na course. But you see, if you check the Igbalode Raymond, I don't even know if he's a Yoruba man or if he's an Edo man. Please, house, if you know where Igbalode Raymond is from, if you please just give us a shout out over his location, his where he's from, his state of origin. Let's continue. This one here say, are you this one? Are you the one that is thinking like this? If so, when they have gone tribalistic now, the whole thing has gone very tribal. They're now beginning to insult themselves in the tribal form, but I wouldn't want to go tribalistic. The whole thing is that let's be truthful to ourselves. Nigeria, we are all in this together, whether it is Hush Popio or Woodbury. They are not seeing Oduduwa, they're not seeing Biafra, they are not even seeing Arewa, they are seeing Nigeria. It's a Nigerian name, it's a Nigerian factor. So if we must come out of this, we must come out of it together. Let's begin to leave tribalism. Tribalism has been our undoing as a nation. Look inwards, look together. Let's come out of this strong, okay? But while we're looking at secession, but let's look at how we're going to redeem our name. But that's where we're going to wrap it up. What's your take on what Dubai have said? I feel we should look inwards and develop our nation, but then it's up to our leaders to help us out. And it's also up to us to hold our leaders accountable for every corrupt practices being done. Let's interact in our comment section. Don't forget